Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast, where we hopefully will not be captured by enemy combatants. That's Kai. I've escaped the Gulag, and this is episode 10 of the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast. Kai, we're at double digits now. What the hell happened?
I know it's flying by. It's actually pretty crazy.
Dude, I can't believe we're actually here. I really think we're just hitting our stride. We're getting comfortable with this now. I'm really loving where this is going. I guess to kind of start the podcast, I know we usually do what's on our mind. Actually, before the podcast started, I was discussing a pretty large deal on Instagram, which may be closing out during the episode. We'll have to see, but super exciting there. Some other things that are kind of on my mind. The Kobe Eternals 101, which we were talking about last week. It actually got moved almost immediately, which I didn't really see that happening. That entire night, there was like 3 or 4 major deals that went down, and major deals in this instance would be 75 to 15K deals. Like there were 3 or 4 of them that happened in the same night, and it kind of just reminds me that, especially when you get into the higher end market, it kind of is the ocean and the waves. You'll see it come in and come out. You'll see items move very easily, and others that you might have to hold for a little bit of time, which is kind of crazy. But was really thrilled with how everything worked out with the Kobe. Got some interesting inventory out of it. Starting to begin the process of prepping for 2023 shows. Really just getting ready for the future and being adaptable in this new day and place that we're in, where it really feels like money in trading cards is so valuable. And you're starting to see stuff that doesn't come up every single day, such as my one PWCC win a couple days ago. I won a 1953 Topps Mickey Mantle auto, like the short print auto, like the actual trading card. After doing some research before and after the listing, I've seen a total of 5 come up since 2020. So, going to be interesting to see what I can get out of that item. I've already gotten some interest on it. I may be trading down on it. It'll be very interesting to see how long that item kind of sits, because there's one on eBay right now. It's about the same condition as mine. I think my auto might be a little bit better, but it's up for 35K or best offer. I did not pay 35K. So
yours looked clean. I saw a picture of it.
I'm excited, dude. And from what I saw, which was cool, usually Mickey Mantle signed Mickey and then under it Mantle. Mine's on one line, which I think looks visually better. The marker looks good. The 53 card looks nicely centered. It's got
is it
a good
authentic
visual.
or graded?
It is authentic. So I don't think it has an auto grade. I have to actually, I have to go get PWCC 10K tomorrow. I forgot to write a check to them. So thank you for reminding me, podcast. I gotta go do that. But it is interesting. And that kind of leads to my next point about consumers adjusting to this new market. If it does feel like stuff is continuing to drop and decrease, but if you can find items that previously were unattainable and you can get them at a good point, you're kind of doing all right these days, especially if you're open to either trading down or cash and trade, or taking on stuff you might not exactly want. I'm seeing a lot of people move into game used gear, which is a fun little angle. Or I'm getting hockey and soccer stuff, occasionally weirder things that I didn't really love. I'll start to take back because it doesn't really matter my opinion on it. It matters what someone's willing to pay. So you just got to adjust, be adaptable, understand that it's not personally what I want, unless it's something I'm going to, live and die with, which I don't expect to happen. But it's just interesting. And I really am cautiously optimistic for the early part of 2023, especially Dallas. That first Dallas show is going to be, in my opinion, incredible.
That's in January, right?
It's January 15th. It's that second week. I have one showcase. I had previously 2. Kind of got my spot kicked out slightly. Just couldn't really maintain my same space that I had last year. So I actually have a friend who's giving me a showcase. Possibly the option of 2, and we'll kind of adapt as we go. And that's just a little unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah. least you have one case for now.
I know. All you need is a spot. Like that's really it. Especially with the
Is it
inventory
the
I have now.
same area as last time or
No,
usual? I
so I'm
guess.
actually setting up with Santiago Sports. So Tyler,
Oh, okay.
who we are actually friends because I've known him for like 4 or 5 years now, which is wild to say. He's like, hey man, I've room if you want. I'm like, fuck yeah, please. So did me a solid, super grateful. He's gonna attract people to his booth, so I'll just happily be there. And like I'm friends
Yeah,
with a lot of
exactly.
his workers, like employees, like super nice. Always happy to be there. I was actually on his podcast like 6 months ago. We'll probably get him on here at some point if he ever wants to, and it'll be fun. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What's going on with you?
Nothing too crazy. I traded away some Matt Ryan like grails the other day actually to a buddy who also collects Matt Ryan. So I'm glad they went
More
to
of you
him.
guys.
There's like a group of like 5 or 6 of us, but besides that, it's
Did you get good
pretty
value
slim
at least,
picking.
or
So I probably doubled up on what I had into them,
nice?
but at the same time, obviously you miss them when you trade them. But I'm definitely happy with what I got. I got some cool stuff from him. I've been sending not a lot, but a decent amount of stuff to SGC actually. It's sort of a value play, but I think
So is that
what
going
are
to
you
lead
gonna say?
into your next point or one of your other points about Bowman, or is it just like other stuff you're kind of
Uh,
just had sitting?
no, because I think sending Bowman to them's retarded. But
Really?
uh, I mean, yeah, I don't think Bowman Chrome sells on anything but BGS and PSA. Like, I don't know. It's just like a
Well, I
preference, I
know that
guess.
they're
But
doing a promo. I think
they're
it's like
doing a
$8.
promo. It's $9 a card for
Okay,
until the 31st.
sick.
I mean, maybe I'll send like my rejects of PSA and BGS to them, but
I
I don't
get
know.
it.
But I don't know. It's just not my. I'd rather get more and wait longer than send it there and rush it and get like a third of the value out of it, I guess. But
Well, that's
I've been
the
sending
issue
a
I
lot of
kind of
like,
have
yeah,
with all grading companies except for PSA and previously BGS. Like the premium you get for that PSA 10 or that BGS 9.5 compared to an HGA 9.5, an SGC 9.5, whatever other grading companies there are. Tag, I think, is another grading company.
tag's
Um,
cool. I just don't get it. But
it just doesn't
continue,
work.
yeah.
Like I will live and die by the methodology. If I'm going to grade something, if it's a thicker card, it's going to go to BGS most likely. If it's PSA, it's going to be thinner and stuff that like has a lot more upside. Because whether or not I agree with the PSA slab being so much more valuable than Beckett or SGC or whatever, that's what the market wants. I'm going to give it to them. You can see it in like their market share. You can see it in how many cards they grade per quarter compared to everyone else. I think Beckett is like third or fourth now these days. I don't know who
Probably
puts
like
out the
third,
material.
yeah.
I don't know if it's Slab Stocks or even PSA or Beckett themselves, but like Beckett is very far behind
They are.
PSA. So what's the point?
See, my logistics behind the SGC, I'm sending basically vintage, which
Good call.
essentially sells maybe like 25% lower than PSA, I'd guess, for same
SGC I
grade.
get for vintage. That's fair.
Yeah, and then I'm basically sending like modern that is rejects of PSA, but I think has a chance at an SGC 10 because the 9.5 SGC doesn't sell for
Do
much
anything.
more than raw, honestly. But a 10 has a decent premium actually for SGC, so that's my
Interesting.
move there. And football, Desmond Ritter, it's time finally. I've been waiting for I don't know 4 months now of pain of Marcus Mariota, so that's pretty cool. Um, I've been sending a lot to DC Sports on consignment. Their just whole thing is insane. I know I've talked about it like 4 times by now, but
I mean, that's what
I just
happens
can't get
though.
over it.
Like
It's
it
so
actually
good.
what
Like it's not
if you
paid promotion or anything, but it's
but once
insane.
again, if you have a good product or a service and we like it, we will talk positively about it. That's why I've talked so positively about like Card Ladder. If you had talked to me 2 years ago about paying $15 per month for a service for trading cards, I'm like, it's fucking dumb. Why would I ever do that? But now
Yep.
understanding like it's not even about the research that's available on a platform like Card Ladder or Alt, which is free or anything else. It's like cost avoidance. Hey, if I don't do this research
Yep.
properly, I might pay 500,000, 2,000 more than I should for an item.
Exactly.
And like, if you look at it like that, if you save money or you avoid one bad deal as a result of Card Ladder's research, it fucking pays for it forever. And once that kind of clicked in my head was when I realized like that was why I liked it. And once again, like they're not sponsoring this. Like you talk about a good product, you deserve to be treated as such. And the same thing with DC Sports. I've done very well with him. Yeah, there's a bunch of different other consignment services that you could speak positively about, but these are the ones that we just so happen to like. And you have a good product, you deserve to be praised.
Something really cool about them that I actually didn't know until I looked at their website the other day. They're like linked in with eBay, I guess, on the back end
Like
somehow
their
to make it
API.
that. Yeah, so like when someone pays for one of your cards, it immediately like processes it and allows your funds to be released on their website like immediately.
I mean, dude, that's such a phenomenal
That's
feature.
insane.
I've seen them do that because like I'll watch obviously my listings and like I'll see the money come in and all that stuff, and it's very fun. I don't know how to program that, but I
Oh, I
generally
don't
understand
either.
how that works. Like I have some background in website and like computer design. Like my 9 to 5
They
job
have
is
to
in.
have some sort of thing from eBay's end. Like they have
Yes,
to have been
they
willing to
absolutely
help them
have like
with
some
it.
kind of partnership with eBay or like some kind of pass or networking, whatever you want to technically call it.
They are a
There's
top
something.
10 seller with eBay, so it would make sense.
There's definitely some representation there that like eBay allows them to use X, Y, and Z, and DC Sports gets some X, Y, and Z as a result. I couldn't speak to the specifics because I have no fucking idea. I've built one website in my life and it sucked because I had to do it for my 9 to 5 job, and I don't have any background in coding or developing or whatever. But I get the gist. That shit sucks. So I mean, they built an incredible site after years of using a
Yeah.
okay one, but now their new website is
Well,
phenomenal.
it's amazing because it's like basically automated. Like you don't even need a person to pay you out via PayPal. You just type
It's
your
true.
email and the amount, and it's on. Like it's such like a step from everything else that was around like before they made that.
Well, the entire hobby is in general has begun to update their websites from like 1994. So like
Yeah,
I'm excited to see that. Like I've talked about this before. I don't know if it's on a podcast or not, but the Dallas Card Show, which is a show I really like, they
their
fucking finally
website.
updated their website to like not look
Oh my
like
god, it was
trash.
so bad.
It used to be like MS Dot. Like it was so fucking
Literally.
pathetic. Now it's good. So like I'm not talking bad, but it was bad. Now it's good.
My last quick thing before we get moving on, I've been pretty heavy into Bowman Chrome for the last like 3 days. Just a little
Yep.
obsession.
Welcome, brother.
What's Nick's Instagram? New England pieces,
New England card collection.
something like that.
Oh
I gotta give
man,
him a big
shit.
shout out. He's the bro,
No, I'm
helping
gonna
me
fuck it
out,
up.
asking questions. I think it has the word pieces in it somewhere.
Hang on.
New England pieces or card. I don't
New
know.
England, New England pieces. We were both wrong,
Yeah,
which is funny because Nick is actually going to be guest starring for Kai in the next week or two because obviously Christmas is coming up and you have to travel home. I live in my apartment, so I don't have to
yeah.
travel. So we're gonna get some guest
Excited for
stars
that.
on for you. Nick will be on. I guess we'll just talk about Bowman because like I've really jumped into it recently too.
Oh man,
I've
I'm
been
upset now. I would love to talk about that.
I mean, listen, we could always do like a round table. That's the great thing too, is that like it's our fucking show. We do whatever we want. So
Maybe I'll bring the equipment home for that one.
whatever happens. I mean, there you go. But I've definitely been jumping on the Bowman Chrome train as well. I really am a big fan of Jackson Torino. I keep on saying his
Oh,
name
the
wrong.
Brewers
Like,
guy.
yeah, the Brewers guy,
He
the
has a
18-year-old
brother,
who
right?
like
Because I've been buying his brother's cards.
who's his brother again? It's
Jason with an I think.
I don't know off the top of my head, which is
I'm
not good.
looking it up because I'm curious.
Yeah, do that because like the metrics for him and the stats like really show that like obviously at 18 years old it could be a fluke and like whatever else, but like if you go into like the performance of like 20 home runs and 20 doubles or like certain number of steals, I don't know the exact number. It was like him, Juan Soto, and like Bryce Harper. It was like some weird, insane group of like recent prospects who turned into stars. Like, oh
For
fuck, let me go
Jackson?
buy him. What'd you say?
For Jackson?
Yeah. And he's like
His
the
shit's
chase.
expensive, right?
Yeah, I mean he's the chase for Bowman. I have one Chrome Auto I've hit base from Santiago Sports. Ironically enough,
So yeah,
I keep on
he,
joining their breaks. Will keep on doing them. There's one more. I think it's a full case of normal boxes, not HTA. So I'm excited to hopefully hit the super fractor and then be like, hey guys, look at me. I'm rich, and then I sell it because I'm dumb and all that other good stuff. But yeah, dude,
so
I
Jackson
definitely
had
am feeling
almost
the
a
bump.
900 OPS.
What happened?
He has a last season between all levels. He had a 900 OPS and 20 home runs.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. That doesn't happen at 18 years old. So like whether or not
Yeah,
that's consistent over, next season or two, it'll really depend. But yeah, I'm a big fan of him. I understand that like his price is correlating to current stars, and MLB makes no sense. But when I look at it and when I try to hashtag invest, quote unquote, in him, my mentality is very simple. It's like, hey, you're in a down market. This guy has all the potential in the world at this current time. If cards are going to be down regardless, why not just like punt the ball, a year or two down the line, see if he becomes like what he's supposed to, and then hope then 2024, 2025, when he is ready to make his debut or close to making his debut, you can sell.
Yep. Worst case
Like
scenario,
you sell when he debuts, and that's it. And you keep like one or two
exactly.
cards of like you want a free roll.
Yep, exactly. Anything else?
No, I mean that's our Bowman. Like that, I think you and I have both kind of followed into the same train of thought, which is super exciting. I think draft comes out soon.
Yeah, in the
next year's
2
class,
weeks, maybe a week or two.
Yeah, I don't really know enough about that one yet, but what I do know enough about is Week 14 NFL action. And what I will say, leading off top for me, is Brock Purdy. No matter what happens the rest of this season, in my opinion, the dude has earned himself several millions of dollars, like maybe up to tens of millions of dollars, based on like the performance he's had so far. Because you got to remember, the dude was Mr. Irrelevant. So yeah, he has shown such poise and such like accountability of this team that they're going to rally behind him, and whether or not they end up making a deep playoff run or anything else, that talent and that know-how will earn him a lot of respect in the locker rooms and will lead to a 5 or 10 year career as like an intelligent backup. Even if he's not a starter ever again after the season, like look at someone like Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins is like 4 or 5 years into his career because of something like this. Like he came in, he was able to perform well. And even if it's not card wise, but just like intelligence and that ability to show, I can do the X, Y, and Z, he's earned himself a hopefully long NFL career. I'm really rooting for him. I don't really care about the car prices. I think they're incredibly overpriced for a lot of different reasons. No shit, that's not really a hot take, but I'm really happy for him. It's super exciting, and I really am. I'm really rooting for the guy.
If Brock Purdy continues to be like at least this level going into the playoffs, and Jimmy G comes back for the first game, who do you go with?
I think you have to go with Jimmy G, but this is almost like one of those situations, way fucking different exaggeration here, but like Peyton Manning at the very end of his career versus like Brock Osweiler, and they went back to Peyton Manning. So obviously the parallel is not a good one, but I think you go back to Jimmy G.
See, I would go with Brock unless he starts sucking. I just don't think you can like mess that up, but I think they'll end up sticking with Jimmy G. It's
a very interesting dynamic, though.
What do you think happens with Trey Lance?
TBD. I don't know. I don't think that you can change your. I don't think you could change up your NFL trajectory as a team for Mr. Irrelevant, who it's way too soon to know like what you have in him. It might almost be worth considering trading him, Brock Purdy, if like someone gives you like a 3rd round pick. You turn Mr. Irrelevant into.
I think Jimmy.
Because if you're gonna roll with Trey Lance as your guy and you're gonna believe in him, then maybe you consider it. I mean, regardless, one of these QBs is gone in the offseason.
Yeah,
it's gonna be Jimmy G. But like, if for whatever reason you kept him and he won a Super Bowl, I don't know. This is such an interesting dilemma. I'm not really sure. I could see a case where
tough.
I know, but that's like a good position to be in if you're the 49ers and you theoretically keep all 3 on the roster next year. Like you can easily trade Jimmy G or Brock. I don't think you trade Trey Lance. There's no reason to.
Brock. Oh,
I'm saying like I could see someone. I could see them trading Jimmy G or Brock Purdy if they were all on the roster next year. You can't trade Trey Lance.
It's the best hard decision to have unless they fuck it up.
I know. Well, you never know. Speaking of backup quarterbacks and ironic enough, California, I think Baker Mayfield, regardless of how this season finishes out, should stay as the backup in LA next year if they want to bring him back.
I think he should start somewhere. He's had such a short end of the stick, like literally everywhere recently.
Well, like, where is he going to go?
I mean, where's anyone else going? There's like 15 teams that need a quarterback next season.
I get it. But like the thing is that like if you are Baker and you stay in LA for, you got a 2-year deal, You get $15-20 million, whatever, be a high end backup. And we've already seen that Stafford has started to break down.
Do they have $20 million?
Fuck that pack. Fuck the cap. It doesn't matter. Maybe it'll take 1 year. It doesn't matter. The point is, like, this is if McVay and Baker are able to start cooking, and like, do you see Baker really grow as a person and like as a player? Maybe he wants that opportunity to be like the backup, learn a little bit more, get more comfortable in the system, and it might work. It's way too soon to know, but in my opinion, he is the best backup quarterback available, like conceivably next year. I don't think he's a starter quality anymore, at least at this point in time. If he's your backup quarterback, you have to be super thrilled.
I mean, just from like a Falcons fan, I'd probably rather take Baker than Ritter right now without even seeing Ritter.
I mean, that's not saying, but that's okay. I
know it's not saying much, but like,
no, it's not.
I just think he definitely deserves to start, whether or not he wants to. I'm assuming he would want to, but whether or not he gets a chance to, I think he should be a starter next season. But we'll see.
I think he
for a starter role.
Competing is better, but like if I were him, I would really consider staying in LA for a year.
But like, what's the benefit of that?
Make $10 million, be comfortable, learn under McVay, assume that.
I mean, he'll be 30 when that's over.
Baker's 27, so
almost 30 then.
Yeah, so 28, 29. I mean, his career is
not a waste of your prime.
Waste of your prime is relative. You've shown that you're just not incredible.
Fair.
Like, yes, he could go to a team like, if the Raiders moved on from Derek Carr and they brought in a rookie quarterback.
The Raiders, that's a shout.
But like, once again, if they moved on from Derek Carr and they drafted a rookie quarterback, they have Malik Willis, but like, if they don't believe in him, but they just fired their GM, so you never know. But like, if you have a team with a very young rookie quarterback and you want Baker to be there for 6 games to start, kind of like, how every team seems to do it until they realize that their starter is bad, a la like Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. Like, you could do that, but do you really want to do that, Baker? You're not going to be the guy.
Ravens, if they trade Lamar.
That won't happen. Lamar is staying. I'm very confident in that. I think he's waiting for Jalen Hurts to get paid, and then he's going to make that bank.
I agree. Hurts is. I don't know what's going to happen with him though. Do you pay him $300 million? Does he deserve that?
What's your other option?
No, they have a top 5 pick. They could draft like Bryce Young.
That'd be so. That'd be anarchy. I can't see the Eagles doing that. I think that they have a really good thing going on here. I think they could possibly even trade that pick back. If they finish they get the 3rd pick in the draft, 4th pick in the draft.
They'll draft like
back
a D lineman or something.
Well, or you trade back to like 10, and a QB needy team gives you like 3 first-round picks, and then you just laugh your ass to the bank.
Well, I think the Hurts thing is interesting because if you pay him like $300 million off of 1 season, and then he regresses back to what he was last year, which was like decent, you're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Giants fan.
If you don't pay him, he's gone.
I don't think they have to pay him yet. I think he's up for an extension at the end of this year, though. So
he has one. He'll be like in the Lamar situation if he doesn't get paid this offseason.
Got it. Okay. I mean, that's interesting.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I maybe you play it. You punt it another year and you see what happens. But no, the Eagles.
I would assume they pay him, but like, I just don't know if you pay him the $300 million.
I don't know. I can't tell you. I mean, I think you might have to.
You see Kyler Murray just blew out his knee. He's on the $260 million contract.
But once again, like, you have to pay these quarterbacks. You don't have to pay any other position theoretically, except for maybe wide receiver. Like, whenever Justin Jefferson goes up for a contract extension, he's going to break all the records. But that's one player. You know what I mean? Like, quarterback, you have to pay. You
the rookie quarterback's just such an advantage.
I know. What do? Your hands are tied.
Yeah. NFC South talk. Tampa Bay.
I don't think the Bucs make the playoffs this year. I really don't know who's going to make it out of the NFC.
I mean,
South.
They're technically in first right now, but it's a 1-game lead. The other 3 teams are basically all tied. It's just they all play each other like twice the last couple weeks. It's going to be a shit show.
So as of recording, the Bucs are 6-7, the Panthers are 5-8, the Falcons are 5-8, and the Saints are 4-9. I don't see it, dude. I fucking watch the Panthers somehow win it. They're actually
that's what I was thinking about.
They won the last 2, and everyone else is on a losing streak, quote unquote. So like, I just don't. No matter what happens, whoever wins out of the NFC South is just like dead in the water. I maybe don't bet against Tom Brady, but like I think I'm betting against the entire team except for Tom Brady. So
Yeah, I don't even know what's going to happen, honestly. I mean, obviously I want us to make the playoffs, but I don't know if I actually do want us to make the playoffs. Like,
you're
we're just going to
4-3 at
out in the
home,
first
so
game.
like you can't win away from Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, they can't really win anywhere, but
You're 4-3 at home.
That's amazing.
So, I know. What a
It'll
world,
be interesting.
man.
Yeah.
So moving through NFL into NBA, we're basically 2 months into the season. I have some interesting thoughts about a few key teams. Firstly, the Chicago Bulls. I'm sorry, guys. You got to blow it up. You got to move Zach LaVine, Vooch, DeRozan. Everyone's got to go. They actually owe the Magic their first round pick unless it's top 4. So you can't do a half measure here. You can't trade one of those guys or even 2 of those guys and
Do you know what they are in the East right now?
I believe they're like 13th.
Not to put you on the spot or anything, but
I'm gonna check it right now. They're not in the playoff or playing yet.
Well, I knew they were in the playoffs. I just
They're
didn't know how low
11th.
they were.
I'm sorry. They are 11-15.
It's changed every day though, so I mean,
yeah. So they're 5-5 in the last 10, but they're not a championship contender. They're not even really a play-in contender. I mean, what's your ceiling here? Maybe 5 games in the first round if you even make it to the actual playoffs. It's just not going to happen. On top of the fact you owe the Magic your first round pick, unless it is top 4, you have to move on from everyone. Strip it all down. I don't know who you choose to build around in this new era of Bulls basketball, but it's failed, and that's fine. Get as many assets as you possibly can and move on. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Have they drafted anyone since Patrick Williams, or have they traded all their picks?
I don't think it matters. AO, whatever his last name is.
Oh, the Sumo, he's pretty solid actually.
Yeah, but like once
You
again,
definitely don't trade him, but
you've missed on Kobe White, you've missed on Lonzo Ball, which is not a draft pick, but like you've missed on him. You missed on Patrick Williams has not been good. Like, it's just like they're not drafting well, and this roster is aging.
A lot of injuries too.
A lot of injury. Well, Alonso's injuries. Like, it just is not going to happen this year or in the near future. Move on. Blow it up.
You can get a decent haul for LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic.
What's that?
I said you can get a decent haul for those 3 dudes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you might have to package Vooch and DeRozan, but like LaVine by himself should be pretty coveted by some teams.
You could definitely get like 4 or 5 picks out of them and a couple young players, I would say.
Yeah. I saw a rumor that the Lakers want Vooch and DeRozan. They were going to offer Westbrook and like their unprotected 2 first. I'm like, okay, maybe, but I don't know, man. It's so hard to like actually like consistently or like I guess unbiasedly look at any Laker trade involving Russell Westbrook because it feels like they're just peddling him to every single person ever.
Literally, unless it's just rumors, but it feels like every single week there's a new team he's rumored to be traded to.
Listen, I think at this point now, like they're going to do a promo like right before the trade deadline, saying the first 15,000 fans in get like Russell Westbrook's contract, like something crazy. Like they just have to get rid of him. Take him to Denny's, just leave him there. Whatever.
He's been decent though lately, actually.
Of course he's been decent, but they very clearly want him gone.
They're in such a bad spot.
I know. A team that's not a bad spot, though. The Brooklyn Nets have actually hit their stride. Currently 4th in the East, winners of 4 in a row. I guess Steve Nash was the problem. I guess everyone just fucking hated him because they're playing well. And I don't know if they're a true championship contender, but I think they're like that next tier. What's that?
I said I don't see why not.
I just don't. I don't think they're a true contender behind like the Celtics, the Bucks, the fucking Pelicans, the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Suns. I think they're in like that like weird like 5 to 6 range of like contender at this moment in time. I mean, it'll play out over the full season, but like they've really, in my opinion, changed my perspective of them. I thought they were going to be a fucking joke.
I think they're like 15-7 with the new coach.
Yeah, something like that. They're really the new guy, Jack, whatever his
Vaughn or something.
Yeah, he's really having them play well, which is great. Speaking of teams out west, the Pelicans are number one right now. They're 18-8. It's gonna be a dogfight at the top of both conferences. I really do not know who's gonna end up finishing first in the West. I mean, it's probably gonna be the Celtics in the East, maybe the Bucks, but like you can convince me that the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Suns, you can convince me the Warriors get hot and like end up like in that 2 or 3 or 4 range, but like I just don't know who is
yeah. Then you get the Suns are still there, yeah. Even the Kings could get hot. And
Kings. I think Kings are gonna fade out of it as like they seem to do, but
Trailblazers could always get hot too.
I mean, you gotta remember this too. 1 through 10 right now in the West is only separated by 4.5 games. 1 through 10, so like none of these guys are really out of it, quote unquote.
Then it's 8 in the East, so it's a big difference.
I know, it's just crazy. You can convince me that like a lot of these teams here could end up being the number 1 seed out west. Not the Kings, not the Trailblazers, not the Jazz, obviously, but like most of these teams you can make an argument for, like when it's all said and done, which is crazy. A third of the way through the season.
In the East, 3 through 10 is separated by 4 games.
Yeah, it means once again, there you go. You have 2 like cream of the crop franchises, and then the Cavs, Nets, Sixers, whatever. Just wild.
Yeah, the East is basically gridlocked, it looks like. From like 5 through 10, they're like almost all the same record.
But there you go. There's the Bulls at 11, just ready to go.
Hanging on by a thread.
Quite literally. But that's the thing, too, is like the talent in the NBA right now is so, I feel like not even distributed is kind of the right word, but like every team seems to have like a guy they believe in. You know, and whether they're a star or young talent or like something in between that, like I look at all these rosters, you know, Pistons have Cade Cunningham, Alonzo, Magic have Paulo and
Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Franz.
Yeah. Wizards have Bradley Beal, Bulls TBD, maybe not. Rockets have Jalen Green, Spurs fucking LOL. Thunder is still, you know, who knows what Chet could be like next year. I honestly forgot about Chet for quite a while there.
The Thunder are stacked with all their picks and young dudes.
There's a lot of talent across this sport. And obviously it's not all exactly the same in terms of like what their ceiling is, but like I don't remember a time and place in NBA today or in the recent memory where like you could say that.
Yeah. Definitely not in the last like 5 years.
No.
Quickly on the Thunder, like, have you ever seen a team with like that many assets?
No, like, dude, they're playing 2K in real life. I'm jealous.
It's crazy. Like Shea, Giddey, even Poku has like value, and they have Chet who hasn't even played yet.
And they might end up fucking
all their picks, all their young dudes. It's like crazy. Yeah, exactly. They might get Victor too.
I really am, dude. I'm so excited to start collecting those cards in like 2028 whenever that product comes out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Maybe I forgot about Chet because like I don't think I've seen his autograph anywhere because I haven't really looked. But like, there's no good products. So like,
I think he's in that Bowman University.
Exactly, no good product
from last year.
Yeah, I see he's in certified. Okay, so he has actual like autographs. But it's like certified and it's sticker autos. So like who fucking cares? And yeah, he's at Bowman University, like you said. Like, and they're cheap as hell. So shocker. Just a joke, man. Just so shitty. I wish we actually had like good products for
There's
players.
No Thunder cards out yet, right?
What's that?
There's no pro uni still, right?
It looks like this is certified draft picks. I'm sorry. I thought that was real certified. So I lied. I don't think there's.
The last time we talked about it, there wasn't any.
No, there's not. Okay, yeah, I looked at it or misread, missaw.
Good. I thought the same thing. You're looking at that certified freshman fabrics.
Yep. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yep. So am I. Yeah. Did they even have a base card yet? Has a product come out in the last like 2 weeks?
Dude, I've stopped paying attention. I don't care anymore.
I do. It's just crazy. Like I don't know. I just can't get over it.
It really just like it kind of killed.
Never used to be like that.
The fun of it a little bit. Yeah, he has.
It really does.
there's instant ones of him, rookies.
Yeah, it's just instant still, like we said a couple weeks ago.
It just kind of kills the fun.
It literally never, like, I don't know, if it was like this like 10 years ago, it would not be as big as it is today. Like, this is literally kills everything, I feel like.
It's a shame.
Yeah. What are you going to do unless we start our own card company?
I don't know. Dude, I just want good products. Why is it so hard?
I just want products.
I know. Just so I can watch breakers again. Like, other than Bowman, like, I really do not watch a ton of breakers anymore. Like, it used to be so much fun
I haven't
to, like,
watched or joined a break in so long.
Well, I mean, you're going to do Bowman stuff, I guess, either on your own or, like, through group breaks.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be so much fun in college, especially, like, back when I didn't fucking do any work and, like, just got B's. I would just put on breakers.tv and, like, hang out in my dorm room and, like, have, like, that on. It's, like, background noise and just, like, watching my favorite breakers of the day, who some still exist, some have done some controversy, some don't, but, like, you know, you can infer who has been in trouble in the last 5 years and assume I was probably watching them. Oops. But it was just, dude, it was the best time. And if you didn't join them, it was just fun watching good products get ripped.
I miss breaks being like reasonably priced. Not that it like that's not a crazy point or anything, but like,
I mean, Brewers
yeah, like
Brewers in most cases of Bowman are like $300, $325, which is pretty reasonable. You think about the upside.
Really?
Like, yeah, I think that's completely fair, which is funny.
I just know for like, I mean, the NT and stuff, like to get the team with like the best
quarterbacks
RPA, it's like the cost like $2 basically.
I know it's not worth it.
Yeah. Moving on you got you're on fire today with the.
I got the segue. Yeah. Speaking of high end products and things we want to see more of, PWCC's Premier auction is ending in 2 days. So the 15th, this is being recorded on the 13th. So like it'll be out tomorrow. It looks pretty loaded. Shocker. What I did see, and this is how I actually got tipped off to PWCC was doing a Premier auction because I don't fucking pay attention to anything. They have a Babe Ruth Lou Gehrig ball. It's a team signed 31. The Ruth looks like shit, and you can see it on screen there. But the Gehrig on the back looks very good. So it's interesting that this is for sale. It helps me set a baseline for mine. I've already talked about it on the podcast. I expect to get 20 or 30K out of mine, or it'll fucking pay for my wedding. Like whatever happens. I
was gonna say, I'd assume yours is worth more with the better auto, despite that one having more autos.
So right? Like I looked at it, it's team balls are so weird. Like there's a fine line between like having like too many autographs versus like not enough. Like mine has Babe Ruth on the sweet spot and it's perfect. That one has Babe Ruth on the sweet spot and it looks like shit, but it has more autographs and Lou Gehrig's actually comes through. Mine is basically vanished. Mine would sell for more. And it's just like, this is a good floor to understand. I don't know what it's going to go for. I was talking to my PWCC rep about this, actually. We're just kind of watching it and waiting and seeing what happens there. But there's so much good stuff in this auction, like as you would expect.
The classic
and then there's some questionable stuff.
Graded Anthony Edwards RPA.
Yeah, like why is that an SGC? That's so dumb.
I don't know.
And then you have like TMNT stuff. I saw some game worn gear in there.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
110K.
Well, that's the first comic, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know shit about comics, so
I have a general idea of like the lower number stuff.
You ever move those comics you had?
I did, yeah. I had, so for anyone who's wondering what the hell he's talking about, I had like 3 or 4 like Batman comics that were pretty good. They weren't anything crazy, but they were like 5 to 10K worth of comics, and I moved them in a deal at a local show, actually. And I don't know enough about
graded,
it. But, like,
right?
They were like whatever the equivalent grading company is, like a 5 and a 6. From my experience with them, what people care about is obviously the condition of the comic, and also like, are the pages stained? Are they off-white? Are they white? There's different levels to that. I'm not an expert, but I've dabbled in Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, comics, everything else. Like I at least try to have a baseline knowledge of like most things. The video game shit is stupid to me though. So if you're selling slab video games, you're gonna lose me there.
Yeah. Anything else to note here?
There's a couple in here. It's so dumb.
The video games?
Yeah, there's a couple video games in there.
Well, I guess it's the same concept of a comic book. Like if you can't read the comic book, if you can't play the game, it's like kind of the same thing.
Yeah. But I can't play that LeBron James Gold Refractor, which is like the 5th one I've seen now in 5 auctions. This shit is not rare anymore. It's just expensive.
It's not even, well, it's obviously expensive, but it's not even like.
Well, they just are so available.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But I mean, some of the stuff should not be in Premier auction. Someone's going to get crushed.
I was going to say it seemed really cheap, but it's a white box.
It's a white box 101 Zion. That Kobe.
What does that say?
2 times finals MVP. I checked it out before. That's a dope
What do you
card.
think's worth? I'm assuming, is yours a 101 or was a 101?
Mine was a 101, yeah. It was inscribed 18-time All-Star, 5X World Champ, I believe. It was double inscribed.
I'm assuming that one's better than this one.
It was a worse brand. I mean, it's Panini Eternals versus...
yeah, exactly. But I mean,
I also won it for $13K, and I got like 15, 16, 5 trade out of it. So
I mean, I can't imagine there's many other Kobe's with that inscription.
No, I mean that one. The person who got it will probably flip it right away, and then it'll go to like a forever home. But like that card came up twice in 2 years, so like that's the fun of it, dude. I enjoy the quote unquote art of the deal more than I actually enjoy owning the card. Like it's more fun to me to like flip cards than it is to stare at them on my desk or wherever I have them.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Q&A.
Everyone's got their own thing.
Q&A time.
I think we're good right now. Let's go through some Q&A. We have 5 questions. Fuck, I can't count. Whatever. From JV3 Cards. Is LeBron still a top 5 player in the NBA?
No.
No.
Not even close.
No, unfortunately. I want to give him the respect like I do like with Brady, but like no. He's probably like 10 to 15 range.
Realistically, I think there's genuinely like 20 other players I would take over him pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but like, what are we talking about? Like for a season, for this moment in time, for one game?
Mean, just like how good they are. I don't know. There's probably like 20, 25 guys I would pretty easily take over LeBron.
Who's the worst player you would take over LeBron? I guess I'm putting you on the spot there, but like are you taking like Jimmy Butler over him? Are you taking Kawhi over him? Like,
I'll take Jimmy Butler over him. Yeah,
that's fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
Look, Jimmy Butler's having an insane year.
I don't care. I would not take Jimmy Butler in any universe.
I'll take Kawhi over him too.
Are we assuming everyone's
Kawhi's healthy? Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too. Kawhi's healthy. I'm taking Kawhi.
I mean, yeah,
the Lakers were literally better without LeBron.
I just can't, dude. I put LeBron in like the 10 to 15 range, but like I would need like a minute or two to figure out who I'd put ahead of
Jaylen Brown or LeBron.
LeBron, easy. Like I have to give him some respect. Like Jaylen Brown, great. Jimmy Butler, great. Possible like Hall of Fame talent, possible. And then like you have LeBron at 38, still just doing insane things on the court. But he is slowing down, and there's no denying that one.
Trying to think of another good one. I don't know.
Chris Middleton. LOL. No, just kidding. You fucking take Chris Middleton over LeBron. I'm leaving.
Drew Holiday.
Oh, no, come on. Stop.
Dude, Drew Holiday is like an MVP candidate.
Don't care. Absolutely not. I'm pulling up MVP voting right now and seeing. I'm
trying to think of dudes in like top 5, top 6 teams.
Well, that's why I'm pulling up MVP odds. Like this is actually helpful. So this is from Vegas Insider. Right now, here's the list.
James Harden.
No. No. I think I would still take LeBron, but like here's the list right now. Jason Tatum. I'll take Jason Tatum over LeBron, obviously. Giannis, I'll take over him. Luka, I'll take over LeBron. Curry, yeah. Joel Embiid, I'll take him
Easily.
over. Yeah, I'll take him over LeBron. Jokic, obviously, that's 6. Zion over LeBron. No,
Easily.
I won't take Zion over LeBron. I just can't.
Oh, dude, get out of here. Okay,
I
continue.
can't do that. This is where the line starts to go. Devin Booker, I'd still rather have
Easily.
LeBron. I'd rather have LeBron.
What?
There you go.
Oh my god,
Once
dude, you're
again,
crazy.
dude, yeah, no shit. But like once again, like that's the answer is he's not a top 5 player. But like I've said, 10 to 15. So Anthony Davis over LeBron, that would be interesting.
Easily.
John Morant, I'd rather have John Morant over LeBron
AD's
right
averaging
now.
like 45 and 15 for the last like a month.
There you go. So that's like 8 or 9 range. So I'm trying to see who else is on this list.
Durant Tell me like the first guy who like very clearly you would take LeBron over him.
According to MVP voting, Donovan Mitchell, I'd rather have LeBron easily over head and shoulders over
Donovan
him.
Mitchell, come on. Dude,
what?
You're crazy.
What? You have him like 20 to 25. I'm like 10 to 15. So like there are some hard calls here.
Darius Garland?
No, give me LeBron.
Oh my god.
I'm very clearly sleeping on the younger players, but I'm also like understanding like the greatness of LeBron, and that's fine.
Kyrie Irving.
No, I would never take Kyrie over anyone.
I'd probably take LeBron over Kyrie this year.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Trae Young. If you can magically have Trae Young.
So easily, Trae. I'd honestly probably take DeJounte too.
That's crazy. And we're both getting comments like, dude, David's way too high on LeBron. You're way too low. Like the happy middle ground is like, oh, you have to take like SGA over him.
Sabonis.
No.
I'm kind of 50.
There's some funny guys here. I think that for me to consider taking LeBron or taking that player over LeBron, it's like I'm thinking about like.
Wait, sorry, Siakam.
No, because the thing is like I want for me to take a player over LeBron in my mind. I'm thinking like, what's their age? What have they done so far in the NBA? And like, what's their quote unquote potential? Which is why I'm taking like younger guys like John Morant over him, or who else did I say? Like, well, Giannis, Luka, whatever. Like that's obviously easy ones, but like. I don't think we've ever seen near his best play, assuming he stays healthy. But like a guy like Donovan Mitchell or Sabonis or who fucking else you said, like we kind of know what they are. So I think that's where I'm drawing the line in my head canon.
Paolo.
I can be convinced if I'm starting a franchise to take Paolo over
just
LeBron.
For the rest of the season. Who are you taking?
LeBron. Assuming I'm trying to win, LeBron.
I guess. I don't know. That's a tough one, but yeah, I think you're a little.
There is a line somewhere.
Yeah. What about Shea?
I can be convinced to take Shea.
I think Shea, like, not even close. Like,
I don't know. And once again, it's just like you have to worry about his stats. How empty are his stats? Can he actually be like the guy in a winning environment? But also,
he wasn't the guy on that Clippers team, but he was on that Clippers team for 1 year.
I mean, he was like, what was it a full year or was it half a year?
I don't even know. Maybe like 3/4 of the year or something, but they'll be good in a year or two. He can be the guy. He drops like 50 every other day.
Dude, and once again, we're talking about like the cream of the crop of NBA talent. But like, yeah, he's picking up 31 points right now. But like, they're not winning. So like, what can you actually do as the guy in a winning environment? You're not just
moral of the story. LeBron is not a top 5 player.
No, yeah, exactly. We're both very clearly agreeing on that. I think he's closer to 10 to 15. You have like 20 to 25, and we could figure that out.
Next question from
Santos Island. At the current market and how Zion's playing, is it time to sell? Yeah, I think so. I think you're starting.
Weird.
What?
I think it's weird. Like he's playing insane, but his cards aren't going up.
Well, I think part of it, once again, and this is a conversation I've gotten to a couple of fights with actually over the last week, is no matter how he's playing right now, the demand for his cards is oversaturated. Like the market is not responding to it. Everyone is trying to sell, either for economic reasons because there's a recession, either here or coming, or however you want to describe it, or Christmas, people want to cash out for their like last minute gift, or like fucking they just like were holding the bag for too long and they see a selling opportunity. All of these factors are leading into the decline in his card value. No matter how he's playing, Like they should be really praying and like help and hopeful that he continues to stay healthy, which obviously we're not hoping for injury. And like people thought I wasn't fearing, I was hoping for an injury. That's not what happened. But the point is, if he was hurt or if he was playing badly, you would not only see the market drop like 75% overnight, you would really see people truly panicking on what they spent on these cards a year ago, 2 years ago, 16 months ago, whatever it would be. Like, it would be awful overall for the hobby if he got hurt or played bad or whatever else. You'd have so much money lost.
Yeah, I don't really disagree. I mean, he's playing probably the best he will play this season, and his cards aren't going up. So I'd probably just get out of it while you can if that's your plan there, unless you want to hold it for the long term. I don't know. I don't know what your goal is there, but
yeah. You could sell into the playoff hype, assuming they make the playoffs, which they most likely will. And that's kind of it. Like, you can't expect them to be.
They're not going to. I mean, I don't think they'll make a run at least, but I guess you could sell into if they win the first round.
Yeah, this is a very good time to sell right now, unless you want to hold to like the spring/summer. Like, you could take the money now, assuming you bought him at a low point, which is, I guess, reasonable when he was injured or early on. Take the profit, move on, or take some losses, move on with your life. Or you wait. Like, they're going to drop more, especially as like the lull of the season goes on, regardless. And that's every player. Because like 40, 50 games to the season, no one's going to really care anymore until like that last month, those last like 10 games, 5 games, the beginning of the playoffs. Like, that's when stuff begins to creep up again because people are starting to anticipate or price in potential like serious playoff run. Yeah, playoffs last like 2 months, right? It's something crazy,
something like that. Yeah,
yeah, it's wild how long.
Like a week or two.
Yeah, it's wild how long the playoffs actually last. So,
plus the play-in now.
Yeah, so you really are able to like kind of see the markets turn at the very end of the regular season into that first round, especially. So. From Danny Dimebox, will non-numbered silver and base rookies continue to drop in price? Yes, as they should. Yep. I mean, the issue here is that like, and I remember calling this out for like years, actually. I'm not sure, Kai, if you remember this though. I was really stomping the ground on like, think about how many cards are at PSA. And this was at beginning of COVID, even before COVID. Like, you have to imagine how many cards were in grading every single month of top rookies and players across all different sports. And they're not numbered. Like, look at the Zion pop, for instance. I know we were just talking about him. I think last time I looked, it was like 23,000.
We talked about it on here. I remember.
But now I have to check card ladder, and I want to see the pop report. It might be 25, maybe 30,000 cards of a PSA 10, which is not, is that healthy? I'm checking right now. Hang on. Also, speaking of Zion, you see the 1/1 NBA Hoops Black Pulsar got pulled from a repack box?
I did see that, yeah.
It was really funny. So the pop right now on Zion is 22,214. So I was a little off my first number.
For base or silver, did you say?
Base PSA 10 is at 22,000. PSA 9.
That's crazy.
PSA 9 is at 17,250. LOL. I'm curious what Beckett.
Like 60K are graded then, probably. Like 15,000, 8s, 7s, 6s, 5s, probably.
Beckett 9.5 is at 9,800. Beckett 9 doesn't even have it on card ladder. Like, it's just so crazy. Also, the pop report on Black Label is 28, which is honestly way too high. Dude, just crazy. Do you remember seeing? Let me ask you this: you really think it's healthy?
The grading of them, or that there are that many, or what do you mean?
Both. The fact that like there's so many of them, so many are graded so well. Like to answer this guy's question, do you think this is healthy for the market? And like, do you see them continue to drop in price? The answer to me is a slam dunk yes.
I mean, they'll definitely drop in price, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Like, that's how people.
No, I think it's a good thing. I want to make that clear.
Like $10. Like people make like $10 doing this. Like, it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's just annoying, I guess. I don't know how to phrase it, but yeah, it's not a bad thing. I mean,
Luka base prisms are at 19. There's 19,000 Luka prism 10s. They're selling at 390. They peaked at $2,000 when he made that 3 in the bubble.
That was crazy, yeah.
Yeah, and you and I were both in cards and long enough to see this. And that was base at 2K. I think silver's got up to like 9 or 10K at their peak.
They did. They were like 8 or 9, I think.
Just crazy.
That's crazy that they were that much in hindsight.
Dude, it was a different world back then. No one knew except for the fucking smart of us, the smart people who were like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
I got nothing else to say about that one. What about you?
Yeah, I don't either. It's just pretty straightforward. Moving on, depot cards. How does one get into the larger, higher end cards, but intelligently?
Fucking good luck, man. Unfortunately, it's a mix. It's really honestly 98% luck. Like, you know, some of the highest end collectors that I know of just so happen to be Milwaukee Bucks fans who bought Giannis in like 2013,
or Kobe people who bought a shit ton of Kobe's.
Yeah, or like LA fans who grew up and liked Kobe, or LeBron James in 2003, and they were ripping exquisite boxes
collectors
for $500. Like,
yeah, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Yeah,
there is something to be said about like just right place, right time, and the extreme measure of like the ultra high end stuff, the 6 to 7 figure cards that like people own since 2004, and they bought it for $2,000. That we can't help you with. I mean, obviously that's, you know, just being born into the right family. Sorry, try again. No. But the way to do it incrementally is, let's say high end in this case is 5K, 10K, 25K. You know, you obviously don't want to spend a house on trading cards, and that's completely fine. But what I've managed to do is when I buy, I go after stuff that I know that even if I can't move this millisecond, I'm okay with holding on to. That's my Kobe Eternals 1-1 that I owned. That was the Giannis Next Day auto, which I already moved. The Giannis Flawless to 5 auto I just purchased for like $2,500, or the Mantle 53 tops I bought. Like rarer stuff that people will pay a premium on, either in cash or trade or both, to gain value. To me, it's all a numbers game. I really don't even care about the individual cards in most cases. I care about like the dollar signs or the value behind it. If I buy something for 10K and I can get 12 out of it, and it's 6, 7 cards, I don't really care. I see the ability to make $2,000 and then take that 12K or 11.5K or 11K, whatever, buy something else and build up like that. You know, it's easy to say, just throw money at it, but you have to have some level of funds, even if it's $5,000, $1,000, whatever. And you have to be able to take a risk, and you have to be able to understand that you might not make your money right away. You might even lose money, which is how terrible, you know what I mean? You have to be willing to lose. And just understand it's just a numbers game. If you keep on staying in the market and you keep on playing it, you will eventually end up doing fine. Unless you bought Kobe White Prism 10s, they're $5 now, and you bought them at the peak at $200. Like, I'm sorry, you can't help you there. But what I would really just say is understand your budget, buy in opportunities where people need cash, $1,000, $2,000, whatever the number is, and look for opportunities to trade down or trade up into ways that you can build into one large item, then trade that item down to 6 or 7 items, and then build back up again. And it's just a continuous cycle, which is what I've been doing for the last 7 years.
Yeah, I would say you can basically take the same fundamentals and things you've kind of learned from doing smaller end cards and just use the same things, honestly, in the higher end. I mean, I don't think it's anything special. Unless you're just coming in with no experience and you're just buying high-end cards. I mean, you can definitely use the same flipping and taking your losses, taking your profits. Like, it's the same thing. It's just at a higher scale.
I mean, honestly, I'll tell you right now, I'm using negotiating like $10,000 to $20,000 deals versus like $500 at these
100%.
days.
100%.
Like, it's so weird to me because, like, also not for nothing, once you get into the higher end market, like, we all kind of know each other, at least in some way, shape, or form. I might not be best buddies with every single person on Instagram who does larger 10 to 25K deals, but I probably know someone who does know them. And, you know, whether it's like getting the reference check of them or like, hey, they're a good guy, or like even being introduced to them at shows or on Instagram or whatever, we kind of all know each other in some way, shape, or form, which makes it easier to deal with one another. If you're a random who's going to DM me about a card on eBay for $500 best offer and you're offering me like $350, and it's worth $4.25, and you're not going to meet me halfway, yeah, it's going to be harder for you to make a deal with me, which is super fucking funny.
Yep.
Lastly, from 416 Card Collections, how to recognize a good deal versus a bad one. I mean, this is such a tough question.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it. I feel like, I mean, you can take who's the player, what kind of brand is it worth paying? Do you need to be under a certain percent to even make it worth your time? Like, are you gonna be able to sell it easily? Like, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, just because it's a good deal based on comps doesn't mean it's actually a good deal.
Yeah, look at Trae Young's market. Every single Trae Young high-end card seems to be sold on eBay constantly. You can't trust shit.
Exactly. That's like a perfect example. Someone may be trying to sell you a Trae Young card at like 60% of eBay, but that's because that's actually what it's worth, probably based on cards that actually get paid for if it is.
It's so crazy. But, I mean, once again, we talked about this earlier, but tools like a card ladder and all, if you don't want to pay for it, it's not even about like knowing the market day to day. It's about cost avoidance. Because let's say you do see those Trae Young comps, for instance, and they're all sold and you don't know that. Even if card ladder doesn't tell you that those auctions weren't paid for, if you see the same fucking card listed 4 times in the last 40 days, if you're intelligent, you think critically, it's like, wait, shit, this isn't getting paid for.
Yeah, so, exactly.
That one bad deal, for instance, could sink a business. You buy something for $10K, it's worth $4K.
You're fucked.
That's rent for a couple months for people, or a mortgage, or a fucking car in some instances. If you're not expecting to lose that kind of money, it really is. At least in my mind, I don't try to hit a home run on every single deal I do, but I do try to hit a double. Like, I want to do good to pretty good on every single deal I do.
Yep.
Because like I will lose on deals. That's completely fine. I fucking bought Josh Rosen in 2018. So like I will lose. But like once again, I'm talking about an example from 4 years ago. I really can't think of too many other examples where I've lost terribly. I've lost, and it's completely. We were talking about a deal before the podcast about a card I traded for a 12K 9 months ago. I might get 8K out of it. That's fine. I can lose. That's completely reasonable. Look at all the shit I sell on eBay. I might take a 5 to 10K loss on items. Well, maybe not 10K, but like the point is like I'll take a loss, group it into one item, like that Kobe Eternals, and move it into new stuff and be back to even.
Yeah.
So you gotta be willing to take that risk, and in order to recognize a good deal versus a bad one, it's more of like having the right information available to you, making sure you understand possibly your exit strategy. Like, can you find if someone is a big Kobe fan and there's a Kobe 1-1 you can buy? Maybe DM them like, "Hey man, I might be getting this. You want to talk? Make a couple bucks for doing nothing." Always gonna have an exit strategy.
Yep, that's a good point too. Finding people that maybe collect the guy that you can turn it around to immediately if you're worried about being able to move it.
Yeah, listen, having that exit strategy, or at least having the idea of who you want to move it to, works. Like I know who wants my mantle already. We're talking about a deal. I haven't even paid for it yet. I have to go write PWCC a check, which I fucking forgot to do. So,
yep,
which is crazy.
Anything else?
No, man. I think we're good. So next time, you're not going to be here. We're going to have a guest star hosting along with me. Maybe you'll come back for the Bowman talk. I don't know if you're going to bring back your equipment or not, but
TBD.
Expect Kai. What'd you say?
I said TBD. We'll see.
Yeah, Kai is not going to be able to skip the Gulag. I have, fortunately. So that's really all I have. I think we're good.
I think we are as well.
Hi, guys.
If I, for some reason, am not back on before Christmas, I hope everyone has a good Christmas.
Or Hanukkah or whatever. I don't even know when Hanukkah
starts. Yeah, all those too. I don't know either. But
Kwanzaa and all that shit too. Non-denominational holidays or whatever. So
yeah, those things. But yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you guys
see you guys next week. Not me, but he will.
Me, yeah.
Bye.
All right, peace.